This is Talks&Tingles' very first full episode. So thank you all for being here. I am the host, Healing Serena, but I am using this first episode to talk to you guys about my personal spiritual journey, how I started, also kind of when I was fighting it, because I know that happens a lot. So just things for you all to kind of relate to, and also talk to me about your own personal spiritual journeys if you have questions, stuff like that. But yeah, so here we go. Basically, my spiritual journey started probably when I was really little. I obviously didn't know what was going on. I was always a little weird. I liked keeping to myself, but I also liked having friends. It was a weird one. It was pretty weird. I like to collect things. I kept myself private, like the real me, and a lot of my friends never really knew the things that I believed, the things that I wished were real. I have loved mermaids, of course, and I always wanted to be a mermaid. I grew up by the ocean, so it was like sometimes I would pretend like I was a mermaid in the ocean. And I would collect rocks, and I would collect like little roly-polies. I was a weirdo. I used to try to hatch chicken eggs, like out of, the eggs that we eat. I would try to hatch them, even though they were already like store-bought and cold. I would try to warm them up under my bed, and try to hatch them, because I obviously didn't understand how that worked. But yeah, I did a couple weird things when I was growing up. And let's see, when I was a teenager, obviously it wasn't cool, so I kind of stopped pretending to be into a lot of things. I did grow like a huge fascination for like stars and stuff, so I was always outside. Majority of the time it was because I wanted to be seen. I don't know if that makes sense, but there was a lot of like neighborhood kids, and obviously I had a crush on a couple boys and stuff like that or whatever, and I would try to get them to notice me, so I'd be outside staring at the stars, which I already loved doing, so like cool, twofer basically. I would just sit and stare at the stars, try to figure out the constellations, try to just see what's out there, try to notice little things here and there. But then also, I was a teenager, so I didn't really care, but I was intrigued by it. It could hold my attention basically. For the longest time I would be outside for hours just chilling in like my stepdad's truck. I remember I would like lay like on the bed, the side of the bed wall or whatever. I would lay on that and just stare at the stars all night if I could. But yeah, I was always intrigued by stuff like that, but I never let myself be open about that. A lot of people didn't know that I was into that stuff, besides like staring at the stars and stuff. I had a lot of like really big events happen, like back to back to back to back. I know 2011 I lost a grandmother, which was my first like close family death, and after that I kind of spiraled. I was not the best mother, because I already had my son. I was not the best human being. I wasn't the best daughter. I wasn't the best sister. I wasn't the best friend. It was a really tough time. I was struggling with a lot of things inside, and especially being a mother so young, because that was around like 2011, so I had to be like 17, 18, maybe 19 at the most. And yeah, I fought a lot of things, a lot of feelings. I shoved all those feelings down. And then 2015 my brother passed away. I have two brothers, so it was a brother that's 2 years younger than me, and that one hurt. I saw him after he passed away like twice, and it only happens when I'm at my mom's house, sadly, which I don't live there anymore. And it was kind of like my first spark, since I had been 16. That was probably like 16. So I had to be like, I don't remember how old, but I was older. Around my 20s. So by that time, when I first saw him, the first and the second time I saw him, it was like a spark in me that was like, I wish I could speak to him. I wish I was a psychic. I wish I was a medium. I wish I was a psychic medium. Like, I wish I could speak to the dead. And I wanted to so badly, just so that I could talk to my brother. So it sparked an interest in me. I started dabbling in like just anything spiritual, like witchcraft. I started like looking into things but not physically doing them. And then I was in a relationship at the time, and it was probably the worst relationship I've ever had. It was very emotionally abusive, I guess is what you could say. It did get physical a couple times, but it was more emotionally abusive. And I don't think he knew that that's what he was doing to me, but it scarred me a lot. He proposed to me, and then probably like not even a month after he proposed to me, he ended up leaving me, or we were already broken up. I can't remember, honestly, like it was so long ago. We were I either broke up with him to try to get him to fix things, and then he was like, nah, I'm good, like I have this other girl. So then he went into go be friends with this girl, ended up trying to date her, eventually he did, and all this other stuff. So that scarred me a lot. Like, I had a lot of trust issues. My brother was gone, and I kind of just lost myself. I was super lost. I saw him, his family members everywhere. My son got really close with his mom, so I saw her all the time, and I needed a big change. So I uprooted myself and my son and moved to Arizona. We went to Tucson, and even then I was trying to search who I was, who I wanted to be, where I wanted to go in life. I ended up getting a job as a corrections officer, and in that job I slowly started to find myself again. Sorry, it's a little emotional. Not completely, but it was like the beginning stages of like, I love myself, like I am happy with myself. And I was working on my physical appearance because I wasn't happy with my physical appearance. I wasn't dating anybody, so I was more focused on myself and how I wanted to feel, how I wanted to look. And it's always so hard talking about that time. So yeah, I slowly started opening up more and more to like, because my roommate that I was living with, she was into like getting her cards read and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, cool, let me see. And she had a friend that also is now my friend, but she gets her cards read a lot, and just like little things here and there would like pop up in my life, and it would be like, I wish I knew somebody that could teach me to do that. And then I met my boyfriend now. We've been together ever since. But back in 2018, end of 2018, I moved back to California with my mom, and then I started working. I had got hurt. That's where I got these scars from. Was from that job. I had to get surgery on both of these twice. So I was out of work for a long time. I think like a year and a half I was out of work, but I was getting like unemployment and stuff, so it was like the bare minimum that was paying like my phone and my car payment at the time. Those are like literally my only two bills, and then I would help out with like groceries and stuff. But even then it wasn't that much because my mom, but even then it was more along the lines of like, my mom would always take care of everything. My mom's always taking care of everything. She's never asked from us because she's just, my mom's amazing. I get really emotional about my mom because I wasn't always the best to her, and she deserves the best. Okay, I'm gonna take a break. Hold on. Sorry about that. I get really emotional about my mom. I wasn't always the best daughter to her, but she's always been the best mother to me. So I got a little emotional about that. But anyways, I moved back with her. Didn't really have much bills. The money that I was making through the unemployment was like barely covering my bills. Like I probably would have like maybe $50 for myself after paying my bills. Like it really wasn't that much. And yeah, so I was out of work for a long time. I was home all the time, and I noticed myself starting to get depressed again. I started to gain a lot of weight again because I was just home. I didn't really have the money to go do anything. Every once in a while I would save up my money and like go out of town, drive here, drive there, whatever, but it really wasn't anything like crazy. And so I think I had been against TikTok for like a long time. Like I was like, I'm never gonna get TikTok. Eventually I did, and I would just be on there just to look and see what's going on TikTok and learn things, learn how to cook this, learn how to cook that. Just little things, whatever. And then on Facebook, was it Facebook? I don't remember how I came across the lady that reads my cards. She's been reading my cards since like 2019, I think, like early 2019. But I don't know. I might have found her on Facebook, or somebody might have shared her on Facebook. I really don't remember. But I came across her. They had posted her or did like a review, and so I was like, let me follow her. She would go live every now and then, and she was a psychic medium, so she could speak to the dead. I can't do that, but so I did it mostly for my brother, because like I told you guys earlier, like I just had a really big, like strong need and want to connect with him, especially after I saw him. The times that I saw him, once it was like a male black figure, like just like a black shadow, and I kind of got scared at first because I was like, okay, black shadow does not sound good or look good, but I wasn't afraid of it, and I got like the feeling that it was my brother. Nobody else was home, so it had to be him. That was the only person that I could think of. And then maybe like a year after that, he came to me again and actually said my name and woke me up out of my sleep, and he was blue, like this color blue, like that, like really shiny blue, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I had been wanting to ask somebody that reads cards and that also speaks with the dead if that was him, and I could never find one that I felt like a connection with, because you should never get your cards read by somebody that you do not feel a connection with. Like if you feel weird, or if you feel like they're a scammer, any kind of bit, like listen to your gut, because they most likely are. There's a lot of them out there, so be careful. But anyways, so I connected with her. I watched a couple of her lives, started like asking questions here and there. I would get a couple readings from her, like just little tiny ones that she would do on her lives. And eventually I asked her, like, those figures that I saw, were they my brother? I did see one as a black shadowy figure, and then the next time I saw the figure, it was like a light blue. And she said that yes, that the first time it was because he was a newer spirit. He didn't know how to present himself to me, so sometimes they come out as like a black shadowy figure. And she said in the blue, the time that he looked blue was because he had figured it out, basically. And I was like, okay, cool. She read my cards for me a couple times, and I think I remember like telling her like that I wish I could read cards, and she was like, just do it. I was like, huh? And she was like, just do it. Practice on people, random people, strangers, step out of your comfort zone, like all this stuff. And I was like, let me think about that. So I got my very first deck, the Rider-Waite deck, which is like my OG deck. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Probably it's like the only one that I use for tarot cards. So I have like two other tarot decks, but I don't like using them. I feel a stronger connection with these, and I call them my OG deck because of the plaid on the back. I think it's like a cholo. But anyways, I made this little wrap myself and everything with fabric that I had, and I went and bought like some lace to make the closing of it, because I didn't have a box for it or anything. This thing is like super worn out. I didn't realize how worn out it is. But yeah, so I started going on TikTok actually, and posting my cards or like readings that I would do on myself or whatever, and started telling people to comment if they wanted free readings. And little by little, I got a big following. I had lots of practicing because I started out doing free readings for everybody, and I would try to do full readings. First I started out with like 1 card readings, 3 card readings, and then I would do like spreads, and then I started incorporating my my oracle cards as I got more and more decks. And eventually I started charging people. I would charge like, okay, just give me $1, because it was a lot. I was doing a lot of readings. I was probably doing like 20-30 readings a day. Like, don't ever do that, you guys. Don't do that. You will tire yourself out. Like, you guys have no idea how energetically draining readings are. But anyways, so I was doing tons of readings. I got over readings so quickly because of that, but I got really good. I got more and more comfortable with my cards. I had got a bunch of cheat sheets to try and teach myself, just all kinds of stuff. And little by little I became more and more confident. I liked reading for strangers because I wouldn't care if I read them wrong. I don't know why. Or like if it just didn't resonate with me. I think it was less embarrassing to get the constructive criticism from somebody I didn't know than somebody I do. And at the time I didn't know how to separate myself to be able to read people that I knew, because I would let my emotions and my feelings, how do you say it? I would let my emotions and my feelings mess with the reading, kind of, because I already had, in my head a feeling or a thought or whatever the case was. And so the cards would like kind of not be accurate, and I would feel it. So I wouldn't read a lot of people that I know. And then Reiki actually was one of the things that I was intrigued by. I was intrigued by witchcraft. I was intrigued by Reiki. I was intrigued by shamanism, shamanic something. I want to be a shaman still. That's my next goal. But I was intrigued by a lot of things, by sound healing. I was intrigued by the tarot cards. I was intrigued by oracle cards, pendulums. I have a ton of pendulums too. Crystals. Started collecting crystals. Started collecting pendulums. Just all kinds of stuff. Just little by little, started doing more and more things and trying different things out. I figured out I tried witchcraft. I didn't like it. It didn't feel right. I'm still impressed by it. I'm still intrigued by it. There's little baby spells that I will do from time to time. I do it more of like a manifestation type of spell, but it really isn't for me to like dive deep into. And Reiki kind of just fell in my lap, to be honest. Like, Reiki came out of nowhere for me. Reiki came up for me when I already had I think I had maybe 3,000 followers. I didn't have a lot, maybe 10, around 10 followers, 10,000 followers, to be specific. And I think I was already halfway through my training when I had 10,000 followers, because I started incorporating the Reiki with my videos, because I was getting so tired of doing tarot cards. I did some Reiki videos, and they kind of gave ASMR vibes. Then the actual healing itself, because I loved ASMR videos. I used to watch them to fall asleep. I still do from time to time. But I started making Reiki videos with ASMR, or as an ASMR role play type of thing. And then I started doing the actual healing throughout my Reiki ASMR videos, and started growing my following through that also. And I think I was probably around 10,000 followers when I was halfway through, I want to say, because that's when I finally told my mom, because I was making a pretty good amount of money, not crazy, I wasn't rich, but I made a good amount of money on top of the money that I was getting through the unemployment. So it was helping me, and I was saving like crazy, because I already had plans to move out here to Phoenix. And yeah, I eventually told my mom. My mom's always been a huge skeptic. She is no longer a skeptic, but she was, and I knew she was, because she's always been the one to push me to get a job that has benefits, a job that makes good money, a job. She wanted me to get a job. That was always her thing for us. She always wanted us to have like a career, and it's that kind of career is not for me. Like, I really don't care about, actually, it was always like insurance, because my son, benefits, obviously it's the same thing as benefits, but yeah. So she was always like a really huge skeptic, and when I told her, I think I was just telling her that because it was her cousin that was teaching, and I had told her like, oh, I want to go to Vegas, because that's where our cousin lived. And I told her I wanted to go to Vegas because I needed to go see our cousin. And she was like, I think I asked her to watch my son. And she was like, what weekend? And I told her which weekend. And she was like, well, I'm not doing anything. Like, can we just go with you? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, what are you doing out there anyways? And I told her like, oh, because she's teaching me Reiki. And she's like, Reiki, what's that? And then she was like, was it that thing that she was posting about? And I was like, yeah. And she was just like, for what? And I was like, I was so scared, because I know it sounds silly to people that don't understand it. It sounds ridiculous. Like, what do you mean you're gonna make money being a Reiki master? Like, what are you talking about? And what do you mean you make money off of TikTok? Like, those kinds of concepts for our parents are like so foreign. Like, they don't understand. My mom's starting to understand. But yeah, so then she was like, she asked me something, and I somehow told her like, yeah, I make money from it. And she was like, how? And I told her, I was like, oh, well, I post on TikTok. And she was like, on TikTok? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I kind of have like a good amount of followers. She was like, how many followers do you have? I was like, 10,000. And she was like, 10,000? And I was like, yeah, it's not a lot, ma'am. She was like, she's like, and you make money? And I was like, well, it's not like crazy money. I was like, but yeah, like, I make some money. And I think I had either already started my YouTube, or I was thinking about starting my YouTube. I don't know. And then I think I mentioned to her too, like, oh yeah, I can make money on YouTube, or I do make money on YouTube. And she was just like, She didn't really say anything. She was just like, okay, well, yeah, we can go, and this and that. And I was like, okay, cool. And when we were out there for the training, we actually did a Reiki on her. Our cousin was like, let's do a Reiki on your mom. And I was like, oh, she doesn't like this stuff. She doesn't believe in this stuff. And she was like, my mom was actually down for it, because I feel like it wasn't coming from me, so she was more open to it. So her cousin convinced her, and my mom was like, yeah, cool. She did it. She loved it. Ever since then, she's been a believer, and she's been super supportive of me and my Reiki, my TikTok, my YouTube, all of it. She's a big supporter, so I really appreciate that from her. And she would get so excited every time I got more followers. She would be like, you see how many more followers you have? Did you see you hit the 100,000? And you see she hit this? Yeah, Mom, thank you. It was so cute, honestly. It was the best feeling ever, because me and my mom, we haven't always had the best relationship, like I said earlier. I wasn't always the best daughter to her. So for us to bond over something that I like was like amazing. A1. She's still the best support system that I have. But yeah, so I started doing Reiki. I became a master, kept growing my following. I was very consistent. I'm trying to be consistent again, trying to get on a good schedule. It's just been really hard with everything going on since Chris came home, and yeah, we're like slowly getting there, little by little. We're figuring it out together, and he's figuring out everything that he needs to figure out. So we both have come a long way in this relationship. So we just celebrated 5 years on the 1st, so crazy to me. The longest relationship before him, I think, for me was like 1.5 years. So 5 years was like, whoa. But yeah, that was like my spiritual journey. Throughout learning Reiki is when I started to really love myself, figuring out how to love myself, and not being afraid to feel my emotions. I feel like that's the biggest thing. I know I have emotions. I'm an empath, so I feel them even more intensely. And sometimes I let other people's emotions affect my emotions, and sometimes I think that they're my emotions, but they're not. So that affects me a lot. Eventually I learned, though, with time, patience, and practice, you learn how to control those feelings, those emotions, and to also know which ones are yours and which ones are not yours. Cleansing helps. But yeah, just don't fight it, guys. If you feel a calling, or if you feel called to do something, to learn something, go and try it. I promise you, you will not regret trying it. Like, even though I don't do witchcraft, I don't regret trying it. Like, I genuinely learned so much, and it was like a stepping stone for me in my spiritual journey. Educate yourself. I know that there's a lot of gatekeepers out there that don't want us to know about the spirituality journey. I don't know why they're weird. Those are usually people that just want to keep all the good stuff to themselves. You always want to, like, even though I think I promote people all the time. Like, I'm always so willing to tell people, like, follow this person, follow that person, like, even if they do the same thing as me. There's so many people out in this world, and they can all use our help. I follow some amazing people, so if you ever want to look and see who I follow, please follow them. They're usually great people. I follow on TikTok a couple people that I follow that you might want to follow. I'm gonna let you guys know. Let's see. Eye Candy Crystals _, and it's I like your eye. She sells crystals, amazing. She's super sweet. I absolutely love her. Here, I'll just show you guys their TikToks also, so you could see. I don't know if that shows very well, but that's the TikTok name. She has great stuff. Right now she has 30% off everything, so definitely check her out. There is Lala Lotus Co. It's LALALOTUSCO. That's her TikTok. I can't believe she only has 2,000 followers. What the heck? You guys need to follow her. She's amazing. She does Reiki. She makes handmade art and jewelry. She just got a new little place so she could do live or Reiki in person. But I believe she does distance Reiki also, and she infuses all of her jewelry with Reiki. Let's see, Glamour Witch Boutique. If you're into the witchy stuff, that's where I get all my oils. I have my love oil, I have my grounding oil. That's where I get my room sprays. I've gotten crystals from her. I've got these incense matches from her. I forgot what else I've gotten from her. I've got a couple things from her. This is her TikTok. Glamour Witch Boutique. She's amazing. She's so sweet. She's very informative too. I love how informative she is. Hippie Coyote Art does wire wraps. She made my my seahorse pendant with the Larimar crystal, but she makes wrapped jewelry. Let's see. Vedenice Reiki is my Reiki master. You guys could definitely go and follow. She's a traveling Reiki master right now. Readings by Ashley. She has this one in like a backup page, but she does amazing readings as well. The Witch's Tit, I think it says. I didn't know that was her name. I always see Willow, but this one's her TikTok. She also makes wire pendants. She's newer at it, but she's getting so much better. Like, I've seen her stuff. Like, I love her stuff in general, but it's so crazy to see, like, if you were to go back, like, just how much better she's getting. It's amazing. So kudos to her. Glow with Storm. She's also an amazing Reiki master, intuitive reader. She does ASMR, she does YouTube. She does channeled messages. I just started doing channel messages because of her. She's amazing. Like I told you, she's amazing. I love her style. It's not my style, but she has an amazing style. Like, I just love it. Carrion & Co. makes cups and stuff. She does hand painted stuff on glassware. She has things over all of her, but she has amazing hand painted stuff. You guys need to definitely check her out also. And then Crafts by Curse of Horror. She also makes cups. Hers are not hand painted, but she does do some really cool spooky stuff. So if you're into Halloween stuff, I definitely recommend following her. She makes amazing stuff. You can see. She's super sweet also. Oh! Sorry about that. She's super sweet as well. But yeah, those are a couple people that I follow. Yeah, that I followed. Where is she? Nicole Reiki? Did I show Nicole Reiki? I don't think I did. Just in case I didn't. Nicole Reiki Healing is also somebody else that I follow. She's a Reiki master teacher. She does amazing videos. She also has a YouTube, so you guys definitely need to go and check her out. But yeah, those are just a couple people. No, I didn't. I went straight from Berenice to readings by Ashley. But yeah, those are some people that you guys can follow if you're ever interested in following more people. I try to connect with people. I don't always connect with everybody. But those people I have connected with, maybe not like super deep, but I have a strong connection with them. I love their content. I love what they put out. I support what they put out. And like I said, there's enough for all of us. Everybody deserves to have a seat at the table, you know? But yeah, and I hope to bring some of them on actually to a podcast episode. Like, I know Glamour Witch Boutique lives here in Phoenix. Glow with Storm is in Texas, but I know she's coming out to Phoenix. Like, that's her goal, is to move to Phoenix. So we have some great episodes that I'm going to talk to them about, because actually I've only talked to Storm about it. I need to talk with Glamour Witch Boutique about it, see if she's ever wanting to do that with me, to give an episode about witchy stuff. But yeah, that's it for this episode, you guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions, if there's anything you would like me to talk about. Enjoy the Reiki at the end of the video. I had to remake this episode because a lot of it got lost somehow. I don't understand how, but like when I was editing it, I guess I cut out a big chunk and it got lost, so I had to redo this part. But I will save the ASMR that I did at the end of the last one and use it on this one, so I hope you guys enjoy that at the end of the video. But yeah, let me know what to talk about next. Let me know if you guys have questions. Let me know what interests you. I'm trying to think of new little segments and stuff to come up with on the show that I want to like slowly add in as I go, because honestly this is like I'm just doing it at this point because I am tired of not doing it, and I am really excited to get it started, get it going, get into a groove of things, and just figure out step by step, you know, that I don't have a full action plan. And if I wait for me to have a full action plan, I'm never going to do this. So here I am doing it, and I hope that you guys all enjoy it. Thank you for sticking around and hearing my long story about how I started my spiritual journey. And yeah, I hope I inspire somebody. I hope you guys didn't find this too boring, but I promise it'll get better. Stick around and wait, okay? Thank you so much. I love you all. Have a great night or day, morning, whatever it is. But yeah, bye. Enjoy the Reiki. Bright violet lights shining down through the top of your crown. Just gonna place a couple Reiki symbols right there at the top, just to help protect and send some positive energy there. Just get that going, get it nice and energized, almost like a little jump start. I'm gonna use Big Mama. release some of that negativity so that you're able to have a stronger connection to the universe, to your God, to whatever or whoever it is that you believe in spiritually, whether it's your religion or just the universe, whatever you want to call it or consider it, whatever you go by. So just that you have a stronger connection to that spirituality, to that religion. Incense that I'm going to use. This is one of the crown chakra incenses.